Hey everybody, welcome back to Tea and Sweets Lounge. Of course, you guys know I am your hostess with the mostest, Miss J, aka Miss Simone Jackson, here to bring you guys another great episode of the Tea and Sweets Lounge. Of course, you guys know we are a celebrity podcast show, and we have, of course, we always have great celebrity interviews, and today is no different. I am super excited to be introducing my next guest to you guys. He is a very accomplished actor. He's been a lot of different things. You can see him on soundtrack on Netflix. You can catch him on some Chicago Fire. He's been on Chicago Justice, Empire. This man has been doing a lot, so I'm super excited to be talking with him today. Everyone, give a warm welcome to Mr. Brian Keys. Hi, Brian.
Hello, 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 hello.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going fantastic this morning. I'm happy to be on the show. Like beyond excited.
Oh, we are so excited to have you on. I
Yeah.
really appreciate you for being on here. Been catching on your work for a while now, so I know I definitely had to get you on the show. So I'm super excited for that. So, Mr. Brian, I'm going to go ahead and fire the first question at you. What began your passion for acting?
Oh, that is a great question. Just because like most people, most of my peers in the industry, acting was the first passion for them, and mine actually came by way of music.
Oh,
Because I started out with, singing, songwriting, playing instruments. And when I was making that transition from I no longer am going to be a solo artist, I want to find something different. Um, my buddy actually, which ironically he's an amazing actor himself, Rotimi, actually told me, yo, you should try acting, and give it a shot. And it was his like kind of ushering me in, like taking me on set while he was shooting Boss and showing me how it worked, from
mm-hmm.
wardrobe fittings to the ins and outs. And I'm like, okay, cool, I give it a shot, and went on an audition for an actual theater production of a soldier's play, and I got the first role that I auditioned for. And then I just kept auditioning and booking roles for like that first year, and it wasn't until like maybe a year and a half after I had already been acting, where I saw this is actually the lane that I enjoy and prefer. Because the thing I liked about music was the performing aspect, the songwriting aspect, telling
Mm-hmm.
stories aspect. And it's the same with acting minus the aggressive schedule. Like the scheduling for music is super aggressive. With acting, it is aggressive, but like at least I can maybe squeeze in like 5 hours of sleep sometime if I want to.
Right. Oh goodness. Oh my goodness. That's amazing though. But to kind of
Yeah.
go on a little bit more about it, uh, what roles do you see yourself grabbing to as an actor?
For me, it's a role, any role that is a part of great storytelling.
Hmm.
Um, because I think that right now we're in this social climate where many people have many things to say, and there are
Hmm.
many voices that are like scratching at the surface to be heard. And I think that it is our responsibility as artists, and creatives, where we have to give a voice to the voiceless. You know,
Yes.
and I think that's why you're seeing like a lot of these projects that emerge that are touching on core key issues that affect people in their day-to-day life. So any role that is pouring into that contribution of just telling great stories, moving conversations forward, and some type of platform, that is pushing towards a positive change and a positive influence.
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely agree with you on the social climate that we have, especially with movies. We're definitely seeing subjects being explored that 10, 15 years ago wouldn't have been, explored because it would just, people would have, probably not want to even kind of watch those type of movies. But I'm so glad that it's changing
Hmm.
and that we are finally getting movies that are starting conversations and that are, like you said, giving voice to the voiceless. It's a very interesting and complex time. So it's good. Um,
It is.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Going on to the number three question. What has been your favorite role so far, Brian?
So far to date, I would say the favorite role that I've done actually took place on stage. Jonathan Caron, he's a playwright and he's also a writer for television. He has this production that he wrote for the stage called The Recommendation, and I played this character called named Dwight Barnes, and Dwight Barnes is just the guy who he catches a case where he is accused of assaulting a gas station owner, and his his interpretation and version of it is that all he did was throw a water bottle at her window when she didn't give him back his proper change, and it expands into this big assault case, and he ends up serving 7 years for this assault crime that didn't happen. But it explores that tone of how in social activities we meet people, and sometimes we meet people just for who they are as a person, and then
Mm-hmm.
other times you have individuals who are just trying to collect what I've come to call social currency, where it's
Mm-hmm.
about what can you do for me, how can you help me get forward, because the play centers around these two guys who meet in college, and one of the guys gets arrested for a broken tail light, and he meets Dwight Barnes in the holding cell, and he promises Dwight, hey, if you look after me, my dad is a lawyer, I'll have him look at your case and take care of you. So Dwight does look after this kid, and he gets out like the next day, and he goes on to forget about Dwight. Dwight ends up serving 7 years. Dwight gets out, and it's about what happens when these individuals get into the same room after promises were made and promises were broken.
Oh wow! And this is a play, right?
Yeah, it's a play. It's a
Oh my
it's a
goodness, I
play.
wish it was a movie because like you had sucked me in. I want to know more. I want to know what happens next. I'm like totally absorbed right now. I'm like, oh my goodness,
Yeah,
it's a play, not a movie. I'm like totally sucked in. I want to know more. I want to know what's
I
happening. I want to
know.
sleep right now.
But what's crazy about it is that the script, because like I said, Jonathan Caron, he's a phenomenal writer.
Mhm.
Currently, he writes for the Center on USA, and the play can definitely be a screen. It can be a screen adaptation. So hopefully we can. I'm trying to like edge him in that direction. I'm like, hey, this should be like a movie or a series or
Yes.
something. But yeah, that's my favorite on stage, and then on camera, I would have to say my recent role of Carver on soundtrack with Netflix, just
Yay.
because it's
Oh.
it's an interesting, it's one of those characters where how you view Carver is based on your own lens that you're viewing the show through. I've had people come up and they're like, oh man, you played a game banger, and I'm like, and I just say, cool if you think so, because never,
That is so
you
real cool.
know,
You play a game fair. If you think so.
yeah, like I'm like if you think so, just because it's all that's ever established is that like me and Dante and we're in a crew, we're a crew, which is like essentially we're just friends, we're just a collection of friends that like we hang out, we might get into mischief or if something's happening, we're not necessarily gonna walk away from it, but we want to see what it's about. Um, we the Converse smokes a lot of weed, but there's never any mention or full establishment of like these are gang members or this is a
Hmm.
bad guy. And there's a lot of back and forth throughout the series about whether or not Carver is a good guy. So I think that has been the most fun um, for me to play, just because it kind of exposes the viewer a bit, where because as the viewer, the more the viewer tries to figure out what's going on with actually any of the characters on the show, it kind of exposes who you are as a viewer and how you view things through the lens that you walk through the world with. So that would be like
Ooh.
those are my top two favorite characters.
Oh wow. Oh my goodness. For one, I really wish I could see that play. I hope you can make that into a fruition and turn it into a series or a movie, because I would definitely be there. I just take my money. Honestly, I'm there. Just honestly, just take my money. I want to know what happens. I am so absorbed, and I definitely want to encourage my audience, because I will definitely be checking out myself. Soundtrack on Netflix. I love series like that like you said, really expose the viewer on how they view the world and people. So I definitely love those types of shows. So I'll definitely be checking that out. But yeah, that's amazing to me. Truly, it is. Um, Going on to the number 4 question, though, as you mentioned earlier, you got into acting through music. As
Mhm.
a singer, can you describe your sound, and your music?
I would actually, as far as like my sound goes, I think everyone is like, I have a unique sound. I sound like me. I know I pull my inspiration from like many artists that I like listening to growing up.
Hmm.
Um, so like one of my biggest influencers, by far was like Stevie Wonder.
Yes.
Um,
Preach.
so from Stevie, so for Stevie, he's a master at with his vocals and how he finds his melodies and things like that. It fits so seamlessly and perfectly into these chords, um, which is why like one of my favorite songs by him is "Overjoyed," because coming out of like the ending of that song to the verse, he when he says "over me," he finds this chord with his voice that he plays vocally before he even plays it on the keyboard. And it's just like beautiful. And tone wise, I remember growing up, I used to get Donnell Jones a lot. I used to get
Yes.
Donnell Jones a lot. Um,
Yes,
but
I
so
love Darnell Jones. Huge fan.
yeah, so it's like if I had to describe myself, I would say I do hear a little bit of Donnell Jones sometimes, but it's like probably a mixture of Donnell and Donny Hathaway actually, and
Ooh,
tone and
love it.
as far as like tone and as far as like sound. I don't really. It's undescribable, just because musically, I cross genres a lot. Like I've
Mhm.
done R&B, I've done Irish rock, I've done hard rock, soul, country, honky tonk, blues, jazz. So as far as like sound, it is basically dictated on what does the song require me to say,
Oh my
um,
goodness.
because some sounds tailor towards stories and mood. Some stuff you can't just tell. You can't tell with R&B. You got to tell it with something else. So you can't just tell it with country. You got to tell it with something else. So, and I think that pours into the fact that I'm also like with me being a musician. I play 13 different instruments, so I can the sounds that I can create are just like it's whatever I feel.
That is incredible. The fact that you said Irish rock made me smile so hard. I mean, not a lot of people can do that, so I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah, I'm loving it.
Yeah, it was
I
great because the thing that got me down that wormhole was back when The Departed came out, and I'm like, what is this
yeah.
sound? I'm like, what is this sound? And I'm like, I went down a rabbit hole. I got the guys together. I'm like, hey yo, we're gonna add this to our repertoire, and it just worked.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. Oh, love Depart, by the way, favorite movie. So I think that's great. I do. I think that is awesome. I think I need to possibly download all your music that I can. I think I have to do that. That might be a priority. Not gonna lie, that might be a top priority. I love all genres of music. I don't I consider myself a music lover, not just a genre lover. I love music of all types. So the fact that you said country and Irish rock, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I definitely got to hear this. I also want to make sure that my audience follows you and your work. Mr. Brian, where are you on social media?
Yes, for social media, I'm super active on Twitter and semi-active on Instagram. I'm still trying to figure out the whole Instagram game. It's crazy. Um,
Me too. You're
like,
you're good. Me too.
and it's weird because I'm like all I see are selfies. I can't really take selfies. It's weird for me, but
You can't. I can't
uh,
either.
it's like it's something about watching myself take a picture. It's I don't get it.
You
But
totally.
and so like on both platforms, it's simply I am Brian Keys for both, and I also have my website, which is iambriankeys.com. I try and like respond back as much as possible, which is like 100% of the time. It may take me a few days, but I
Mm,
usually I'm quick with getting back and reaching back out to those who reach out to me, just because I'm grateful. It's an honor to even have people who want to reach out to you from your art and from your work. So I don't take it for granted at all.
so yeah, I can totally vouch for that. By the way, people totally can vouch for that. He does respond in a quick manner. I'm just saying I can vouch for it.
See, see, see.
He says, see. uh, Going on to the number 6 question there, Mr. Ryan. What future projects are you involved with that you can dish the TM Sweet Sauce about?
So right now I am in the pre-production stage. I have a film that I wrote that's called Second Chance that I am still we're working on the pre-production budgeting and casting at this moment. It's a story about a father who is pursuing a second chance with the relationship with his son, due to him just needing to get his stuff together, not wanting to be an absentee father, but just life happens. And his son, who's now a teenager, what happens when the resentment and anger and the frustration for that you may have towards a father who left you, and the shame, the embarrassment, the hurt, and the hope of a father who wants to reestablish that relationship. What happens when these two men just confront it and say, hey, put it all out on the table?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm working out on the creative aspect from the organic projects that I'm creating. I am currently in talks with another TV production. I wish I could dish, but as soon as I can dish, I think I might have to just like touch base and be like, hey, let's drop this news.
Oh,
Um,
please do.
but hope, yeah, yeah. But it's gonna be huge. It's a show that touches on some key issues that need to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I can get more information about that, then I will let you know. But yeah, pretty. I'm pretty looking good that I'll be back on the TV screens for network television soon.
Woohoo! Super
Yeah,
excited. Yes, definitely
yeah,
reach back when you can definitely dish out more info. Definitely want to know more projects that you're involved with. I definitely want my audience, of course, to know what more projects you're involved with. So definitely keep Tea and Sweets Lounge posted because we are definitely going to want to hear more for sure. Um, Going on to the number 7 question. Mr. Brian, what goals do you hope to achieve as an actor?
the goal is right there in the question. As an actor, I actually want to just inspire hope. Um, for me, I grew up on the south side of Chicago, born and raised. And it's almost like the Sinatra song. If you can't make it there, you ain't make it anywhere. So growing up in a environment where resources and just opportunity are far from none, um, it's not guaranteed that you know how to make it out and you know how to make it as successful anything coming from dire circumstances. So everything that you do, it's almost like an in spite of. And so for me, I'm trying to just like reach back and
Mm-hmm.
show like, yo, you can do this. Like you can, it don't matter. It don't matter what you don't have. Cause like for me, I, I didn't have the resources to take lessons for music. I didn't have the resources to, study or have a drama program like that. So it's just the want to. I just have to want to do it. But for me, I go back and I do workshops and I do speaking engagements and I work with kids to show them like, hey, this is what you can do. and this is how you make it. Because, you know, even still to that, we're in 2020, and you know, the neighborhoods is still lacking the resources that it really truly needs. There are
Mm-hmm.
organizations that are there. You know, for the athletic side, you have the Chicago Elite Classic that reaches out to top tier athletes and just any athletes within these communities. And then you have the Clio Center, which is a nice center that has resources for arts, sports, entertainment that are there for them, and after school programs, and through the park district as well. But for me, it's just like I want to be that beacon that those coming from the neighborhoods that I'm coming from, or neighborhoods like the one that I'm coming from, they just see that they see a reflection of themselves. So I just want to
Yes.
inspire hope. If I can inspire hope, and bringing up the readers, other artists that have a voice, and showing kids, yo, embrace your most authentic self. So humans to embrace their most authentic self, and I've accomplished everything I want to accomplish as an actor.
I love that message. That's amazing. I do. And I think it's great that, you know, someone who's in your position, they just want to, give back. And I think it's important to give back and to inspire the younger generation so they can do the same thing so that, positive cycle can continue to go. So I
Absolutely.
yeah, I definitely appreciate you for that. So, going on, we got just a couple more questions there, Mr. Ryan. Going on the number 8 question. Can you name a director who you would love to work with?
Oh, a director that I am wanting to work with. Let me
Mm-hmm.
think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that, can I give you like three?
Of course.
Okay, cool. And this is in no particular order. I definitely want to work with Spike. Like
Ah,
at some
yes.
point, like at some point, I just have to work with Spike.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I this is an actor who I see the director potential in them, and I know they're gonna like throw in that director hat like consistently real soon. But I would love to just, you know, work on a project that like Viola Davis is the director of.
Ooh.
Um, just because like I hear like I like when you know when I hear Viola talk about the work and about the creation of her art and everything, like it's just so like it's real. It's super real. And from the way her mind works as an artist, I just know like if she, you know, whatever she touches as a director is going to be golden. Um, and I guess, um, you know what, Lena Waite's got to get on my list.
Yes.
Lena Waite's got to get on my list.
Yes.
Um, just because I just think that she's tapped into something. She's she's tapped into something that's authentic, that's real, that's that's great, you know, and you know it shows in the work that she puts out there. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
with Queen of Slim blew me away, and that's just from her creating it, you know. And I just think that her mind is amazing to just jump into that director's chair, and it'll be magical. So I think for me, it's like I there are many other directors that are already established that are amazing I would want to work with. But I think like for me, I'm always drawn to the untapped and the potential that's there. So I mean those directors are, you know, I mean Spike is Spike. You know, Spike is like I fell in love with Spike's work when I saw X as a shorty. Um, but with Lena and Viola, anytime I always have to stop what I'm doing when I hear them talk about the work, and when they're pulling you in through that lens to see how they view the work, I'm like, oh yeah, we gotta work together.
Right.
Yeah.
I love all three of those choices. I will watch Viola Davis in pretty much anything. Like you said, I've been a big fan of Spike Lee since I personally been a big fan since oh God, I had the title in my head and I lost it. That's sad. I think it has Martin Lawrence in it. I do believe.
Um, Martin and Spike had a project. Oh
I
wow, what have I been?
Wow, where have I been? I think so. know. I think it was just like a really brief scene that I just had it in my head and I just lost it. Hopefully I'll be able to get it back. But yeah,
Are you talking? Well, I know. Oh, you know what? It might be because I'm trying to think. I'm like, because I know Martin had a cameo in Do the Right Thing.
yes. Is that
He
right,
wait was
Spike?
that? Yeah, yeah,
Yes. There
yeah.
you
That's
go.
like that
Yes.
is.
Do the right thing. Thank you. Yes. Love that movie. That's one of my favorite
Yeah,
Spike Lee
it's
movies.
crazy.
Oh,
It's
yes.
crazy because when you said Martin, I'm thinking about Martin now. Where I'm like, Martin is a leading man. You know, I'm like, which one did he lead in? I'm like, oh wait, but he did have a cameo and Do the Right Thing. Like he was, I think that was like actually, I think that was like Martin's film debut. Honestly, was in Do the
Yes.
Right Thing, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so too, and I think that's why I like it. I like watching big time actors debut and then see them season out through, the years. It's one of my favorite, hobbies, especially for movie wise. So yes, Do the Right Thing. That is one of my favorite Spike Lee movies. So love it. So thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate
absolutely.
that.
And we
I
got it.
was struggling.
And I can't mention Queen of Slim without pointing out that Melina did an amazing job directing that project, and I think that she should be getting all the roses for what she did cinematically for that
Hmm.
joint, because Queen of Slim was the jam.
Oh, I have to see that movie. I have not seen it yet. I definitely have to see it. I've been dying to see it. I like I said, I love Lena Waithe, so I definitely got to see that movie. I've been hearing just beautiful, beautiful reviews about the movie, so I definitely need to see it. That is definitely on my top list movies of things of definitely to see. So yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
gotta get on
do it.
that. For sure. No, I gotta get on that. No, for sure. All right, Mr. Brian, we just got two more questions left for you. Coming on to number 9. There are tons and tons of actors. We just definitely name them, and they're definitely turning to directing. Is that something that you see yourself doing?
Eventually, I think so. Eventually. Right now, I think, and the reason why I say that because like right now, I'm very good at talking about the work, and a lot of my peers, I'll do a lot of private coaching, and things like that. And the thing that I lack right now that prevents me from stepping fully into the directing, when you're a director, you have to understand how to communicate to various types of artists, from the lighting design to your DP to scenic to wardrobe to hair and things like that. So it's so much I still have to learn. But
Hmm.
I mean, I have plenty of time. But absolutely, eventually, that is a lane that I'll step into, and get in the director's chair, and just make some super dope, diverse, inclusive work. Like it's gonna happen.
Hmm. That'd be awesome. And for just like for a stepping stone or for starters, you could always try to direct a short film just to see how, you know, because I know a lot of actors definitely do short films, and I just watched a short film I think directed by Kristen Stewart. There's just like a bunch of different short films that I definitely think you should definitely start there for
A
directing
word, yeah, yeah, you're right about that. Yeah.
for sure.
Um, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna like it'll happen. It'll definitely happen.
I cannot wait to see.
But yeah, but I'll still have to approach it the same way. It has to be the right story, the right voice, the right work,
Oh, absolutely.
and the stars will align the universe and make it happen. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, Ms. Coming on to the final question. All right, for any movie lover, of course, we all cannot have our movie without having our treat. What is your favorite treat that you love to have while enjoying a movie?
Ooh, gummy bears. Like
Ooh.
what's a movie without gummy bears? Like that's the snack. That's the snack. That's the snack. Like it's I but for sure I'm gonna be real. I always have to sneak them in just because I mean those movie theater prices for snacks. Whew,
I love that.
like,
That's awesome. You said those prices for snacks though.
they like I get that's their profit, but if it's like one of them corporately owned theaters, I'm definitely sneaking the snacks in. But if it's independent owned, then I'm gonna support. I'll buy some snacks at an independent theater. But these big chain theaters, they charge too much.
They charge
Yeah.
too much. I love it because I feel like I felt like I was the only one who felt that way. I asked definitely a lot of people that question, and they definitely say they love buying their snacks at the movie theater. No one has ever mentioned how high the prices are. Thank you for mentioning it finally, because I totally
Look,
agree.
it's the truth because I'm like outside the movie theater, this bag of gummy bears costs like $1.59. Inside the movie theater, it's like $3.15, $3.50. I don't know why.
Like I love my gummy bears, but we gotta talk about these prices. Like this is why I'm a bargain shopper, because my goodness. Oh.
Look, I can do the whole political campaign just on fighting high prices at the movie
Me
theater.
too. Oh my god. I would so join you. I would join you in that political fight, because someone's got to do it now. This is getting ridiculous.
Look,
I totally
I,
will be on that. I'd be your campaign manager. Shoot, I will give you all
look.
the information that you need. Trust me. I'd be on it. I'd be so on it, because this is a fight I could definitely get into. Seriously. Oh
Word.
my goodness. Brian, it has been such a pleasure to be talking with you. I so love your direction, your clear direction as an actor, and I cannot wait, of course, to see more projects coming your way. Like I said, I cannot wait for just to see more, of course, on the big screen, big and small. So I'm super excited to see what you have in store in the future. But you definitely have, Tea and Sweets Lounge as a fan and supporter of yours. So we definitely appreciate you for being on here today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me. Like I said, I'm grateful. It's an honor. I just really appreciate you just supporting me because you don't have to, but you choose to, and it's appreciated.
Absolutely. And of course, everyone, I want to remind my audience, make sure you do follow Brian Keys on Twitter, Instagram, even though he said he's still working on Instagram, but still follow him on Instagram and Twitter. And definitely check out his future projects that are coming out. You guys definitely don't want to miss it. And of course, if you guys haven't, make sure you guys check him out on Soundtrack on Netflix. I will definitely be doing the same thing. So, but yes, everyone, I just want to give a great thanks to our guest Brian Keys. I definitely want to give thanks to everyone listening in. And of course, you guys know we'll be back with another great episode of Tea and Sweets Lounge. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Miss Simone Jackson, and we'll be back here soon with another great episode. Till then, y'all have a great morning out there, and we'll be back soon. Bye. That was good.
That was fun.
That was beautiful, Brian. That was beautiful. It was. I appreciate you. That sounded clear, smooth. So editing will be an absolute breeze. So I'm grateful for that.
Thank you. I am grateful for you, and making time. Like this was great.
Of course. So what's going to happen now? Like I said, I will begin the edit process. That'll take about a week or two. You'll hear back from me within that time with a private YouTube link. Like I said, I just want you to hear the podcast once more over before I share it. Once I share it on my website, you're all good and clear to share, and we are all good to go.
Well, Sloan, thank you so much. Thank you, and hopefully I can get some good news over your way, and we can talk about that again.
Absolutely, me too. But yeah, you have a great rest of your day, and again, you'll be hearing back from me ASAP.
Fantastic. Thanks again.
Absolutely. You have a great day.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.